That's what this regime wants. They want there to be that gray area so that it will quell constitutionally protected speech and other constitutionally protected behavior like freedom of assembly and freedom of the press. Welcome to the Cryptid Skeptic. Today I need to talk about authoritarianism and fascism further taking root right now in the United States. The date I'm recording this is October 9th, 2025. But to understand where we're at right now in this moment in time, we need to back up a few weeks. So, starting on September 22nd, our Insider-in-Chief signed an executive order titled Designating Antifa as a Domestic Terrorist Organization. So, in this executive order, it is demonizing the left and cherry-picking certain acts of political violence while blatantly ignoring others, that, as the facts are coming out now in these cases, pretty much appear to be by Trump supporters. I'm talking specifically the ones they're ignoring are the assassination of Melissa Hortman and her husband in Minnesota by an apparent Trump supporter, as well as the attack on the Mormon temple outside of Detroit by another alleged Trump supporter. So, this cherry picking of political violence and using that as an excuse to issue these memos, or this executive order, especially in the wake of the Charlie Kirk shooting, which the shooter's motives, who the F knows? I mean, you could have people on the left calling him somebody on the right. You have people on the right calling him somewhere on the left. When we don't know the truth of the matter, that'll come out at trial. But fact of the matter is, we don't know. And everything that alleged shooter put on the shell casings, everything else like that, he's probably just having a big laugh right now. In my mind, and this is my opinion right now, he's more akin to a black-pilled groyper than anything else. But then again, we just don't know yet. So, next in the timeline, September 25th, 2025, when Trump administration issued the National Security Presidential Memorandum Number 7, or the NSPM 7, that was titled Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence. This is the scary one right now, because this directs our intelligence and national security apparatus to, again, look inward at the American people. And in Section 1, Paragraph 4, where it lists the indicators of this, supposed domestic terrorism and organized political violence, it's, again, demonizing the left. And frankly, it reads more like a Ku Klux Klan value statement than anything we should be seeing coming out of the federal government. It smacks of McCarthyism on steroids right now. But anyway, Section 1, Paragraph 4, it lists the indicators, and they are anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the United States government, extremism on migration, race, and gender. Finally, hostility towards those who hold traditional values on family, religion, and morality. I really want to point out the big irony of this right now is that Trump himself has violated pretty much every one of those indicators there on the list. Yet, they're going to use this framework and this apparatus to go after the American people and deny Americans their constitutional rights, getting swept up in all of this. Then, raising the temperature just a little bit more, on September 30th, Secretary of Defense Hegseth and President Trump delivered Well, I don't know what you'd say it was, but Trump, anyway, delivered his enemy within speech.
We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military, because we're going into Chicago very soon. That's a big city, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within.
In attendance there at that speech were over 800 flag officers, our generals and admirals from the United States military, plus all of their senior enlisted advisors. All of them together in one place in one time to deliver a very, very chilling message. And what was said there should alarm every American, but even more so, it should have alarmed every person who was sitting in that room, as well as veterans too. Because what it said was that Trump isn't worried about our foreign adversaries anymore. He wants to turn our military might inward against the American people, against his political opponents and his regime's perceived enemies. And who are their political opponents and perceived enemies? Well, all you have to do is go back and look at the executive order from September 22nd and the NSPM that was issued on September 25th. This smacks and reeks of McCarthyism. This is straight out of the authoritarian playbook right now. If you're blind to that, then please open your eyes and wake up right now. So, yeah. Because what we're seeing right now, and it's even come out in the past week with, Trump attempting to federalize the Oregon National Guard to deploy them to, to Portland. That got hung up in the court by a Trump judge, I might add. Then they tried to end run around that and bring the already federalized California National Guard into Oregon. That was enjoined also. Then it was appealed up to the Ninth Circuit. Ninth Circuit, stayed that injunction, temporary injunction for now, and we'll see how this plays out now in the courts. Now we have the instance of Chicago, where the Trump regime, via ICE and Customs Border Patrol, they aren't trying to take the temperature down at all. No, not one bit. The Trump administration right now is using political violence under the color of law to terrorize the American people and violate our constitutional rights. I think by now everyone should have seen the video of ICE descending on an apartment building in the middle of the night. They're on, I think it was South Side Chicago, where they went through an entire apartment complex. The jackbooted thugs kicked down doors, drug out American citizens out of their beds at night, zip-tied children, separated children from their families. We're talking American citizens right now. If people can stand for this right now, you have to really, really question what you're supporting. If you think that an operation like that, the way they conducted it, is justified, then you might as well put on a brown shirt right now. It's as simple as that. Because the Trump administration and his goons, they aren't trying to stop political violence. They're trying to incite more political violence so that they can use that as an excuse and a pretext to militarize our American streets even more. Now we see that the the Texas National Guard has been deployed to Illinois. So Texas, the Texas governor, Abbott, he is complicit right now with authoritarianism and fascism by allowing his National Guard to quote-unquote invade another state, where the governor of that state says they're not needed, says they're not wanted, but he's going to go ahead and offer up his National Guard to Trump to send him into Chicago. How in the world is this supposed to bring the temperature down right now in the United States? You know what the answer is? It's not. It's not. Like I said, this is using political violence to terrorize the American people right now. And that political violence right now is coming from the Trump administration. That's why, as a moderate, which I am conservative on some things, slightly liberal on other things, but by and large, I'm a political moderate, right down the middle. I'm an Air Force veteran myself. That's why on October 18th, I am going to exercise my rights to free speech. I'm going to exercise my rights to freedom of assembly. And I'm going to go out and join the protests peacefully. I'm going to peacefully join the protests on Saturday, October 18th. And I would encourage everyone else to go and do the same. Because silence is complicity right now.